Hello students. In our earlier lectures, we discussed about the different types of plant tissues, particularly the supportive tissue and the epithelial or simple tissue. In today's class, we will be covering about the conductive tissue or the complex tissue as well as the animal tissues. When we look at the cross section of a stem, we observe that there are the different types of tissues like the xylem, phloem, okay, this central region called pith and the external region, okay. So on a more detailed scale, when we are looking, the central region you see is this is the pith, endodermis, and the region, this whole region in between, okay, is the xylem, okay. Xylem, okay, this is the xylem, and then in this region we are finding is the phloem, okay, phloem, and this is the outer region called the epidermis. So broadly we are seeing that there are the two tissues here, that is the xylem, phloem, okay. What are the types of cells that are present in the xylem? Okay, the function of the xylem, as you already know, is in the conduction of water and minerals. Okay, there are the four types of cells in the xylem, okay, that is the xylem tracheids, xylem trachea, okay, or vessels, okay, and then we have the xylem fibers and xylem parenchyma. The first three here are dead or non-living type of cells, whereas parenchyma is the living type of cell. Tracheids and trachea, both of these are dead, okay. Trachea sounds something like, in humans we have the trachea, which is the windpipe. So in the case of plants, this trachea is nothing but the water pipe, okay. So when we look at the detailed structure here, you can see that it appears like a pipe, this blue color, okay, this blue color one is appears like a pipe. It is a continuous pipe, there is no cross walls or anything that is disrupting the flow of the water, and the flow of the water is from the roots upwards, okay, towards the shoots, okay, single unidirectional flow, okay, this blue color one. And the other thing we are observing that it is a thick cell wall, okay, the cell wall is thick. So these trachea as well as tracheids are both thick cell wall, dead cells, okay, they are involved in the conduction of water. The tracheids are different from the trachea or vessels in that you can see here that they are having tapering ends, okay, and they have a lot of pits. Here is the cross section, you can see it is also thick walled, and inside it is a empty cavity, okay. So just like this pipe which is empty inside, similarly tracheid is also empty, okay. The only difference is that trachea or vessels are continuous, whereas tracheids are like this kind of tapering ends, they are the discontinuous, okay. Next, coming to the xylem fibers, these are made up of the sclerenchymatous tissue, sclerenchyma. So already we have seen the different types of tissues. The sclerenchyma is the dead one, okay. So it is also thick wall and it is going to provide the mechanical support also, okay. The xylem parenchyma is a living cell, it also has the food store, it also has the storage kind of function, okay. Next, coming to the phloem, it is involved in the conduction of the food. Okay, phloem, food. Okay, so there are the four types of tissues here in the phloem. Okay, that is the sieve cells, companion cells, phloem parenchyma, okay, and phloem fibers. So sieve cells, what is happening? They have the, what we are seeing here in the saffron orange kind of color, these are also pipe like system. Okay, but what you can see the difference from the trachea, okay, xylem trachea or vessels, these are having the holes. Okay, the sieves, what we say sieves. So sieve is nothing but what we use for the like in the rice and different types of things, we have this kind of mesh like system, right? Mesh is there, and same kind of mesh is there here. So this is known as a sieve. So these are the sieve cells. You can see that the direction of transport is both sides, upwards as well as downwards. Okay, so sieve cells are having cross walls, and these cross walls are having these kind of sieves. Okay, these are sieve cells, and you can see that comparatively they are thin cell wall than the xylem. The companion cells are adjacent here. These blue color ones are the companion cells. They are adjacent to the sieve cells, and they are also providing the support and in providing the conduction of the food. Okay, the parenchyma is also a living tissue. Okay, these three are living. Okay, it is also living tissue involved in the storage of the food all. And the phloem fibers, these are involved in most of the what we see the in textiles, the hemp, flax, jute, all of these kind of ones, they are made up of the phloem fibers. Okay, these are dead cells. Okay, they are dead cells. Okay, so in this way the phloem kind of tissue, okay, when we are looking at this same this one we are seeing in this kind of diagram, these are the cross walls in a two-dimensional structure. The companion cells, they are having the nucleus, whereas the sieve cells do not have the nucleus. Okay, next we look at the animal tissues. So animal tissues, there are of the different types. One is the epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular, and nervous. Okay, under the epithelial tissue there are the different types, which include the squamous, cuboidal, columnar. Okay, under columnar we have the ciliated, glandular. Okay, and then we have the stratified. Okay, so these are the different types in which squamous are, if we draw a generalized structure, they are flat cells with a prominent nucleus, and squamous cells are found mainly in the lining of the mouth, nasal cavities, blood vessels, and lymph vessels. Okay, they have an important function for protection from the mechanical injury, germs, harmful chemicals, and from drying up. When we look at the cuboidal, so these will also be similar, except they have some depth. Okay, so they appear in a cuboidal shape. Okay, and these are generally found in the glandular ducts like the salivary glands and pancreatic ducts. The columnar cells, okay, in the columnar cells the depth is increasing further. Okay, in this way they will increase further, more in depth. Okay, so under the columnar cells we have the ciliated, and ciliated is most common in the case of trachea. Okay, so they have these kind of structures on the top of the cells. Okay, these are known as cilia. So they can move in this kind of a swinging manner. It is present in the trachea or the windpipe, and these are nothing but the protoplasmic projections. Okay, and whenever that phlegm or cough is produced in the mouth, it helps to throw it outside the body. Okay, the glandular epithelium, it is common in the lining of the stomach and intestines, and glandular epithelium is folded inwards to form the compact, hollow or tubular glands. For example, in the sweat glands, tear glands and the liver. Okay, the stratified means they are having the different layers. Okay, they will be having the different layers of the cells, types of layers of the cells, and these are found generally in the skin and the cornea of the eye. Okay, so basically we are having the four types of epithelial cells. Okay, so starting with almost a flat cell, cuboidal, columnar and stratified. Next we are looking at the what are the connective tissue. So connective tissue is the one that binds one tissue with another tissue. Okay, and the one of the important character is that there is a lot of matrix material, intercellular matrix material. Okay, so what happens, this matrix material, it helps to bind the different kinds of the cell. It has a lot of fibers and it is having very less of the cellular elements. So let us see at the different types of the connective tissue. One is the connective tissue proper. Okay, so under connective tissue we proper we have the areolar tissue. Okay, areolar tissue is nothing but the packing tissue. Okay, so it is occurs just below the epidermis of the skin. Okay, it provides the elasticity. Okay, in order to withstand that pulling effect. Then is the adipose or the fat tissue. So adipose or fat tissue is specialized that it is able to store the fats. It provides the padding under the skin and around the kidney, eyeball, etc. Okay, so then we have the other type of the connective tissue proper, which is the fibrous connective tissue, and they are present in the form of tendons, okay, and ligaments. Okay, so what is the main difference between these two? These tendons, they connect the muscle to the bone. Okay, whereas the ligament connect the bone to the bone. Okay, and hold them in the position. Okay, so that is the main difference between the tendons and ligaments. Then comes the supportive connective tissue. Okay, so under supportive connective tissue we have the cartilage and bone. Okay, so cartilage is the kind of tissue. Okay, it has a very thick intercellular thickened intercellular substance called matrix, and it doesn't have any nerves or blood vessels. Okay, so it is a semi transparent elastic and it is found in the tip of the nose, external ears, trachea, bronchial tubes. Okay, in these kind of places we see this kind of soft kind of supportive tissue called the cartilage, whereas the bone we know is the very hard and it is a porous tissue. Okay, it has a good supply of the blood vessels, okay, and nerves. So it consists of both living cells. So the living cells are known as the osteoblast. It is known as the osteoblast, and it is also having lot of inorganic substances like calcium, phosphorus and so on is present in the bones. Then we have the fluid connective tissue. Okay, which is nothing but mainly the blood and the lymph. These two are the important fluid connective tissue. What is the difference between the blood and the lymph? The blood is the liquid, is the, we know very well, is the part of the circulatory system. Okay, and it has the two components. One is the plasma and other is the red blood cells. Okay, so the cellular part consists of the red blood cells, white blood cells and platelets. Okay, whereas the lymph, it is the fluid that is surrounding the body cells. Okay, it is essential that the body plasma, whatever that is getting oozed out from the vessels, okay, it contains the white blood cells but not the RBC. So lymph does not have the RBC. Okay, and both blood and lymph are concerned with the transportation as well as immunity protection kind of role. Both of them are important for the purpose. Then we are looking at the muscular tissue. Okay, so we know very well that muscles, they contract and they relax, and that is how they are causing the movement. There are the three types of muscles. One is the striated, okay, other is the unstriated, okay, and the other is a special kind we see in the heart or cardiac. Okay, so striated muscles, what happens, they are voluntary, that is they are under our control, and they are made up of the long fiber of cells that are having the nucleus. Okay, there will be long fibers of cells and there will be the nucleus also. Okay, and they appear as striated, that is there will be dark and light regions continuous like this. Okay, so this kind of banding pattern is formed, that is why it is called striated, and the muscles move only when we want it. Of course they are under our will, and almost 50% of our body come under this category. Okay, and whatever these muscles that are present in our legs, arms, neck, face, all of these are the striated muscles. Unstriated muscles are not under our control, they are involuntary. Okay, and they are made up of the spindle shaped. Okay, where like it will go, spindle means it is very thin and then it will come like this is kind of spindle shape. Okay, and they are the spindle shaped, and they have tapering ends. These are uninucleate, and they are found in the walls of the intestine. Okay, where they help in the passage of the food. They are present in the muscles of the iris of the eye, skin lining of the blood vessels, etc. Okay, that is the unstriated muscle. Whereas heart and cardiac muscles, they are important where in the functioning of the contraction of the heart. Okay, so with the heartbeat, it is a continuous process, it is also involuntary, and they are made up of the striated muscles. Okay, and they are uninucleate. Okay, and also they are branched. Okay, they are relatively short, and when they contract and expand only upon stimulation from the special kind of electrical nodes that are present in the heart. Okay, so these are the three types of muscular tissue: striated, unstriated, heart, or the cardiac. Then coming to the nervous tissue, all of you know that the nervous tissue is made up of neurons. Okay, these are specialized elongated cells. Okay, and they have the cell body is known as the perikaryon or cyton. Okay, perikaryon or cyton is the body of the nerve cell, and they have so many extensions. These nerve cell, they will have so many extension in a very rough way if we are showing. So if there is this nucleus and there is the extension from here, there will be many dendrites or dendrons, and the central region is known as the axon. Okay, and the main function here is to carry the nerve impulse. Okay, so in this way the muscle cells, they are made up of these kind of unique very long type of cells. Okay, and they may be myelinated, that is they will be covered by a certain thick membrane, it may be myelinated. So in this way we have the different types of four types of animal tissues. Okay, so please you can all solve the questions at the end of this chapter and revise these points. Okay, thank you.